Hi, I'm Thom Curry from the Temecula Olive Oil Company, and we're going to share something that is really close to our family. I grow olive oil, and we want to show you how we use olive oil at home. Well, of course we use olive oil for everything. We wash our hair with it, we bathe in it. It's in every bit of food that we put on the table, right?
Yeah.
But this is something that's really near and dear to the family. It's a simple recipe, and it's absolutely delicious. We're going to make Caesar salad for you today. And for Carly, my youngest daughter, this was a real special treat because even when she was little, she'd climb up on a chair and help with the ingredients. She'd like memorize exactly what was going into each thing, and pretty soon she was making it on her own. Then it became a standard, and even at school, right?
I even got a reputation because instead of bringing cupcakes to school on your birthday like normal elementary schoolers, I would bring this bowl, all of the ingredients, and make Caesar salad for my entire class to share. And I even got some kids hooked on vegetables after that.
Yeah, we get calls from parents. My son came home and he does not eat vegetables, not even salads, and he was raving about this salad, and I need to have the recipe because I can't believe you're getting him. And not only that, but there were anchovies in it, and he was eating anchovies. That was amazing.
Even from years on, I would have to give the recipe for birthday gifts. I would end up being at school and people ask me when I'm gonna bring it again. It became a real hit at my school.
Yeah. And it's a big hit at home too. We make it all the time, probably 3 or 4 times a week actually. It's once you get it down and you get the ingredients right and you get the technique, it's super simple. Not many real things that you have to do, but there's a couple things that are very important. First and foremost, wooden bowl. You have to have a wooden bowl. You can't do it in metal, you can't do it in porcelain or anything like that. And the more you use that wooden bowl, the more it gets cured, the better your salad's gonna taste. But trust me, it's much easier in a wooden bowl. This bowl we actually got my wife Nancy, her mom, and I when we were married. This was a wedding gift, and so we've been using it for a while. I won't say how long, but it's well seasoned and it really makes for a good salad. And so let's jump into the ingredients and how we make it. The ingredients that we're going to go through today are super simple, very fresh, very clean. Unlike a lot of salad dressings you buy in the store, one of the things about store-bought salad dressings, not only is the ingredient list awfully long and hard to pronounce in some cases, but it does get very expensive compared to when you just use fresh ingredients. So I think if you prepare this recipe, you're going to see a big difference, and not only in flavor, healthiness, but also in your budget as well. So let's jump into it. Usually we start with a little bit of
whole garlic.
That's right. We just throw it right in the bowl. The only utensils you really need are
a big spoon and a big fork.
Big fork, big spoon. That's it. So let's throw in a little bit of the salt. So to help get the garlic kind of mixed up in here, we'll put a little salt and a little bit of fresh ground pepper as well. And we'll mash up that fresh clove of garlic. We want to get this all mashed up and into a nice, almost to a puree. It's going to work itself right into the bowl. And the pepper and the salt help to break up that garlic. And you just run it up the side. You can see all that nice garlic oil coming out. That's the flavor right there. The next step that we're going to go to is the part that is rather controversial.
Yes.
Since you grew up with it, it was always just natural, but when we take it to school, what happens when we get to this part?
Everyone all of a sudden has a huge opinion that they no longer want to try it.
Because we're going into anchovies, and there's a lot of selection of anchovies that you can choose from. Traditional flats of anchovies with the fillets. If you don't use these on a regular basis, a big flat of anchovies usually ends up getting knocked over in your refrigerator, and you get oil that is kind of fishy all over the place, and it's no fun to clean up. Smaller jars with fillets are very good. You can spend a lot of money on them. At home though, if you want to do it like we are all the time, probably the easiest is just a little anchovy paste. It's very convenient. You can just keep it in the refrigerator. It's always there. You go through it pretty quick. It's neat and clean. So once we get the garlic done, we'll just squeeze a little bit of the anchovy paste in. Now, don't be scared. The anchovy is going to offer a lot of flavor. That is umami right there. It's delicious. It's got just flavor that is just exuding into the salad. But if you do feel that it is a little bit too much, you can always counteract it with the next step. Adding a little bit more of what we put in the next step can tone down the anchovies if you think it's too much. The other nice thing about using the anchovy paste, it's really easy to work into the salad. You just work it right into the bowl. So what will we do next on this?
You're gonna grab a slice of lemon.
Yep. And we'll just squeeze that right in. You can use a little, and the seeds, usually we don't find any lemons that don't have seeds. The juiciest ones have the seeds in it. So we'll just pull those right out. We do like lemon, so we'll use usually a whole lemon. A lot of times a recipe will call for a half, but I don't think you can use too much lemon.
Never.
As a matter of fact, sometimes you like me to squeeze the lemon right on top of it afterwards.
Absolutely.
Too, right?
The more lemon, the better in my opinion.
She'll eat lemons just straight.
I blame the salad for that.
Now we're going to add a little bit of complexity to it. The next step is a little bit of mustard. And you have a lot of selections with mustard as well. You can use Dijon mustard, you can use all kinds of different if you like it spicier. But what we prefer, we like the dry mustard. Just a little bit of dry mustard in there. Dry mustard goes a long way. Once it's added to liquid, it really gets some heat to it. So we just put a little dash of dry mustard in, and it's really going to add to the flavor. Then on top of that, what's the next thing that we're going to add the complexity to?
This is one of my favorite ingredients too. Worcestershire sauce.
That's easy for you to say.
I know. I have
Actually,
had
that's pretty good. Yeah, we say it a lot. But Worcestershire sauce is interesting. People use it a lot. Don't realize it's also anchovy. Made up. It actually comes from an old ancient Roman sauce called garum, which was made from fermented fish. So we're actually adding a little bit more anchovy to it, along with some more umami, a little bit of vinegar in there. So these things together, we're going to mix this up, get the anchovies and the garlic. You can see the color changing. You've got these nice flavors. It smells good, doesn't it?
My mouth is starting to water.
Anticipation. So now that we have this part done, we're ready for the star of the show.
The most important part.
Of course. This is one thing you can't compromise on. Of course, the bowl, you have to use whole garlic, but the olive oil is very important. And we make lots of different olive oils. We make flavored olive oils. We like to use a traditional olive oil in ours. In particular, we're going to use the Roture d'Oro, which is a Tuscan style that has a lot of flavor to it. It's got a little pepperiness to it. But you can get a late harvest that if you like something that's a little bit more soft and buttery. Lots of different styles. And what you need to do is play around with this recipe and see what you like. Once you put the olive oil in, to get this to kind of cling together as a nice dressing, we'll add a little bit of finely ground Parmesan cheese. In this case, Jack made some delicious cheese, and we're going to use the fine grater and just put some of the cheese in. This is going to help make the dressing kind of stick together and become emulsified as one. So we put the cheese in there.
That's also an ingredient that you can never put too much in my opinion.
That's right. We'll put some more in. This is just to get things started. But you can see that just mixing around, you're getting this nice consistency. The star of the show now is going to be the lettuce. If you can just hold that out like this.
Perfect.
And we always use romaine lettuce. This is good organic romaine. You want to rinse it really nicely. And another important part, never cut your lettuce with a knife. You always want to tear it. And we'll just tear it right into the bowl.
This ingredient makes a huge difference. You can definitely tell good romaine lettuce in a salad from bad romaine.
Yeah, and you want it fresh, not sitting in your refrigerator for a week or so. And God forbid you try to sneak in like red leaf lettuce or something like that, right?
How dare you?
I tried that one time, didn't come out too well. It'll never happen again. And you can use, some people prefer the hearts more than the greens. We like a good mixture. It's nice to have the greens and the hearts in there all together. Get some crispness and then that nice flavor from the greens. So once you get this all chopped up, or torn up, I guess, and you want to make sure this is dried really well. If it's too wet, the dressing isn't going to stick to it, and it just goes to the bottom of the bowl, and then you have to drink it out of the bowl, right?
Which, I mean, not the worst thing that can happen, but...
So at this point, we're going to toss it. You just kind of roll the lettuce through the bowl. Make sure that you're kind of pushing it down the sides to pick up all that yummy stuff that's stuck to the sides, so you're getting it all on the lettuce. So once you get it stirred up nice, a couple things that you're going to add, but we're going to use day-old bread in the form of croutons. They're going to get in with the dressing and absorb some of the dressing and not be quite as crunchy. Then when we put it on the plate, we're going to add a few more croutons that stay nice and crunchy, so you get both textures. So with our flavored olive oils like the roasted garlic, the way we make them, it's not an infusion. Some people get confused. Infusion means that you're adding the flavor after you make the olive oil. The way that we do it is when we're making the olive oil, I throw the olives into the mill and crush them up, and I throw the roasted garlic right in with it. So the garlic's getting crushed right with the olives. It's extracting the essential oil from the garlic right with the essential oil from the olives, mixed perfectly together. So it's a real, just the best flavor you can possibly have. Nice garlic flavor, and since we roast it, it's nice and sweet. It's not overpowering and hot, and it is married perfectly with a nice, soft, buttery olive oil. And like I said, what we want to do is we want to throw in some of the croutons as we're mixing, and then some afterwards. These soak up some of that yummy dressing. Some people might even call it delicious.
Great word choice.
Thank you. And then right onto the plate.
Oh.
And then we'll add a few more of the croutons. See, that's it. It's super simple. There's lots of ways that you can make it your own using your special mustards, anything that you like to jazz it up. Make it simple, make it delicious, and make it every night.
Yes, couldn't say it better myself.
Make sure that you get some on the plate, because usually the bowl disappears.
Yeah, this is my...
And if you want to use the best olive oil, we highly recommend what we make, the Temecula Olive Oil Company. You can get that at our tasting rooms in San Diego, Los Angeles, Orange County, or online at temeculaoliveoil.com. We look forward to seeing you and look forward to having you taste our olive oils.